Welcome to another episode of the Games Concept. Today we're gonna talk about Decentral games. Decentral Games is a project that includes all the features which are being talked about today in the crypto world. It is an NFT project, it is a Metaverse related project, it is a play-to-earn project, it is a DeFi project. Now we'll be able to see all the features that we were talking about in the latest videos. Let's begin by showing the website. The website is decentral.games. Here we can find all the available sections offered by the website. Let's begin by talking about the DAO section. The Decentral Games project is a DAO, but what does that mean? It means it is a decentralized autonomous organization. So Decentralized Games has its own token, DG, which when acquired make us part owners of the project, which allow us to make decisions about what direction the project should take. For example, we can suggest what changes should be made or what should be developed. The project even has a treasury in which all the funds that the project collects are kept. And we as DG token holders, we are the ones who decide what happens with those funds. So here we can add and see all the proposals that have been put forward in this section called Governance. When we click on them, it will direct us to a site called Snapshot. Snapshot is the place that hosts most of the proposals and their data. These are all the proposals that are being made in the Decentral Games DAO. If we click on any of them, just by scrolling down, we can see the results of the poll for a particular proposal that a user made. As we become DG investors, we can decide whether we are for or against that proposal, or even make a new proposal, suggesting what we think should happen with the project. Going now to another section. In offerings, we can see what are the games offered by the platform. Decentral Games offer poker for play money, poker in play-to-earn mode, that we'll talk about in more detail shortly, roulette, blackjack, and slots. The interesting thing about all the games at Decentral Games is that they are non-custodial. What does that mean? That we are always in control of our funds. That is, we're only going to transfer funds for each hand that we play. And all of this will be done through a smart contract. How does this work? In a conventional casino, they always say, transfer your funds here and we'll credit you with a certain amount of chips. So in that way, we're not in control of our funds, and we don't know what's going on in the background either. Instead, at Decentral Games, the code and the logic of each of the games is stored in a smart contract, which is public information and anyone can see it. So it guarantees fair play, and that the games are not rigged. The Decentral Games token, which make us part owners of the platform, can be obtained at Uniswap, QuickSwap, or Matchup, or any of the platforms that we talked about in the previous videos. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about what Play to Earn is. This new type of game in which we can, in the case of Decentral Games, play poker for play money and win real money. How do we get involved in this new ecosystem? To do this, we must get an NFT. We've already talked about NFTs in the previous videos. In the case of Decentral Games, they are represented in the form of wearables. Since it is a metaverse, a wearable is a garment which is placed on the avatar, that is, a dress, which is still an NFT. In order to get an NFT, we have three options. The first one is to participate in the official sale of NFTs made by Decentral Games, about once a week, once every 2 weeks. To be able to keep track of when the next sale of NFTs is going to happen, we can go to the Decentral Games Discord, which I will leave in the link below this video, in the announcement section, which can be found here. The other option we have is to follow the Decentral Games Twitter account. where they announce every time there's going to be an NFT sale. In the announcement, they also inform the requirements to participate, such as having 1000 DG or 1000 DG stacked, which are quite simple steps to follow, and if you watch the other videos, you'll be able to do it very easily. For now, the price of the NFTs during the official Decentral Games sale range from 0.25 Ethereum to 0.5 Ethereum. The second option we have is to acquire an NFT in the secondary market. To do it, we need to enter the website that I mentioned in the previous video, called OpenSea. This website is dedicated to the sale of NFTs and also hosts the wearables or the NFTs of Decentral Games. To do this, we must search for Decentral Games, and here we can see the entire wearable collection that other users are selling on the secondary market. I just recently acquired this NFT. The transaction was very simple. Just connect your MetaMask, as we've seen before, then click Buy Now, and it will be transferred directly to your wallet. Once you have it, return to the Decentral Games website, click on My Account, and then go to the Ice Poker section. In the Your Items section, you can see all the wearables that you have at your disposal. When we buy a wearable in the official market, that is, when Decentral Games itself makes the sale, we don't need to do anything else. The wearable is ready to use. Now, when we get it on the secondary market, it's necessary to activate it again, as it says here. To activate, we need 500 DGs. To do this, we're going back to QuickSwap, and we're going to change from the Polygon network to the Matic network. And we're going to say that we want to buy DG. In this case, I'm going to buy $1,000 in DG, but we don't need as much to perform this activation. Just confirm, sign the transaction, and wait a few seconds. Well, the transaction is done. Now we return to the Decentral Games website. And we're going to click on Switch to Mainnet, since you can remember that on QuickSwap we switched to Polygon, and just reload the page. Now we're going to click on Activate Wearable. We'll confirm the activation and sign the operation. And now our wearable is activated. Before continuing with the video, I want to talk about the third option. The third option is to get a delegation, what in the Axie Infinity ecosystem is known as a scholarship. A delegation is when I acquire an NFT or a wearable, and instead of playing on my own, I can decide to delegate that NFT to someone else in exchange for a percentage of their profits. In this particular case, I will buy an NFT and delegate it to someone else, and then I can keep 30% of the winnings and the player keeps 70%. In order to get a delegation, once again we are going to resort to the Discord, where there is some specifically dedicated channels for delegations. To get a delegation or to be a delegator, either one of them, we need to go to one of these channels, and there we can request a delegation. Later on in the video, we'll talk more in depth about that, since it is an excellent passive income opportunity. So, now that we have our wearable, we're ready to enter the Metaverse. Let's click on Play Now. These are two different locations which are listed on the Decentral Games website, but there are many more and we're going to see them in more detail later. But in this particular case, we're going to click on Play to Earn Ice Poker. While it's loading, I want to tell you that the currency that one earns in this ecosystem is called ICE. We can find it on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and the websites we saw earlier. We can exchange this currency for Ethereum or USDT or whatever we want. It is like any other cryptocurrency. Very well. We've just entered the Metaverse. First of all, I want to explain the graphical interface a little bit, so that you don't get any surprises when you enter for the first time. When we click on the screen, well, for now, as you can see, we have control of the mouse. But when we click on the screen, our mouse disappears. If we want to recover it, we must press F. I know it may seem obvious, but I don't want you to get dizzy when you enter for the first time. A brief explanation about this screen: on the upper left we can find a blue map that if we click on it, it opens the entire Decentral map, and we can go to any of these sections by simply clicking on a place and then clicking on Jump In. Down here we can see our player stats. How much ice do we have? How much experience we have accumulated? We're going to talk about that in more detail later. How much DG we have, and what wearables we have equipped. We'll also talk about that. Now I'm going to show you how to join a poker table. The first thing we must do is press ESC to recover the mouse. Move the mouse to the upper right corner and click on our avatar picture. In this section, we will find that above it says Map, Builder, Settings. We'll click on Backpack. And here, in the Collectibles section, we'll look for the wearable that we've just bought. Let's click on it to equip it and then click on Done. Once the wearable is equipped, we are ready to check in. But what does check in means? Regarding the participation on the daily tournament. So every day the game stats are reset, and at 9 p.m. it starts all over again. Now we check in with the wearable we have equipped. Now a little explanation about what this interface is showing. The interface is showing us what we have equipped and what we are not using. In my case, I have delegated other wearables, and that's why they are here. But I only have this wearable equipped, and now it's telling us to join in with 3,000 chips. So the wearable that we bought is going to give us 3,000 chips for us to play with. We'll now click on Join. And now we can see in the GUI that we have been credited with 3,000 chips. Continuing with the explanation of the graphical interface, here we can see the daily leaderboard. What is this? Is the player rank. The ranking of players is divided into percentages, that is, from 0 to 5%, from 6 to 10%, from 12 to 15%. That is, if we are among the best 5%, among the best 10%, or among the best 15%. And that is relevant because we're playing in Play to Earn. We're going to have to complete a series of challenges that give us a certain amount of ice. This amount of ice will be affected by our position in the ranking. For example, here in the bottom right, we can see the different challenges that we must complete. For example, the simplest challenge gives us 25 ice upon completion, the intermediate one 100 ice, and the more difficult one 200 ice. This amount of ice will be affected by our position in the ranking or leaderboard. If we finish on the top 5%, that is, among the best 5% of players, these rewards are multiplied by 2. If we finish last, these rewards will be multiplied by 0.3. There are other ways to modify our multiplier from the number of rewards we get from ice per day, such as having more than one wearable equipped. We can equip a maximum of 5 wearables. In order to play, we simply approach the table. The cards will show up here. Another thing to keep in mind about the graphical interface is that with the letter V, we can switch between the third person and the first person. It is almost impossible to play in the third person view, so I recommend that you change it directly to the first person. By pressing enter, you can open the chat bar where you can write anything you want. And with the letter T, you can activate the microphone and talk to other players. To join the table, we must simply click on a card. And here it will ask us with how much chips we want to get in this table. To add a certain amount of chips, we simply click on any of the chips. And then we click the Buy In button and join the table. In order to play ice poker, there must be at least 3 players sitting at the table. This prevents players from colluding or cheating to be able to complete the challenges faster. At this particular table, there were no players. But if we go to another table, we will be able to see how other players are doing. One thing that can happen to you is that you don't find any available tables. So if that's the case, what you can do is click on the blue button on the bottom left, which says Find an Open Table. This is going to show us the different Decentral Games locations and the different buildings that it owns, like DX Lounge, The Stronghold, and Chateau Satoshi. We click on it, and here we can see another screen that is showing us different options. What are these options? It is what is known as real or reality. As all connections in Decentral work peer-to-peer, that is, from one player to another, if there were too many players on a single server, things would run very slowly. That's why we have different realities. We can simply choose one of these realities that we see that has a considerable amount of players. Now we should just join a poker table. Let's see if we can join this one. We join, and now we're playing with other 3 players. And we must complete the 3 daily challenges that have been given to us below. In this particular case, I got, for example, see the turn 15 times. That is, the turn in poker finishes when the 4th card is turned over. We must reach that distance when the 4th card is turned over. To complete one of the units of the challenge, we have to do this 15 times. When we do it, we'll win 25 ice. Then our second challenge is to win the hand 10 times, and the third challenge to draw a straight twice. The graphical interface of poker is quite simple. Here we can see that is the turn of this player. This is our hand, and here is telling us our expected ice earnings. This is helping us to calculate, based on our position in the ranking and the challenges completed, how much we are going to earn, or what we would potentially earn today. Here we can see the chips that we have earned today, our position in the ranking, our ice multiplier, and also how many chips we need to earn to be able to move to the next percentage. Each of these challenges, in addition to making us win ice, make us gain experience. Oh, I just got astray. As you can see, one of the challenges below has just been completed. Let's bet him since we have a good hand. And well, as I was saying, we also gain experience. We need this experience to improve our wearables, if we want to. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit more in depth about what it means to improve one of these wearables. More or less, to be able to complete all the challenges, one takes approximately 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. If you play very well, you can make from $60 to $70 per day. If you play okay, between $40 and $50. And if you play poorly, you will earn about $20 completing all the challenges. It is quite a reasonable amount, and you can make a good profit per month. Another thing I want to show you is that Decentraland, and particularly Decentral Games, have a lot of locations, not just decked poker, and you can move around the entire casino and all its locations. To do so, you click on the map as we saw previously, and for example, we can go to the Tominoya Casino. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, there is also the possibility of betting with real crypto, that is, not in the play to earn mode, but directly using our cryptos. In order to participate in the crypto games, we first have to enable it so that the games can use our cryptos. To do this, we go to the Decentral Games website, click on My Account, and then on the balance section. Here we will see a button that says Enable or Allow Gameplay, and it will ask us if we are over 18 years old and if we are in an area where what we're doing is legal and so on. Once we click Accept, it will ask us to sign in with MetaMask, and now we are ready to play. In the Tominoya Casino, here at the bottom right, we can see the different options of tokens that we can bet. For example, we can click on Ice. We sign to show that this is what we want to do. And then, as we have done before with poker, we simply go to a blackjack table and click on Join. We can click on how much we want to bet, and we are now betting with real crypto. We can use any of these tokens, and the first one it shows is to play with play money. One of the great features that Decentral game has is that under the premise of the house, every time we're betting, we can get part of our losses as DG. That is, if we're betting using ICE and I lose it, or if I'm betting using Ethereum and I lose it, I will have mined the DG token anyway. That is to say, a part of our losses is recovered in the form of DG as a mining mechanism. This one is, for example, the Tominoya Casino. Here we have slots, roulettes, and blackjack. Another thing that I wanted to show you is that Decentral Games is also involved in everything that has to do with the digital entertainment business. One of the most recent partnerships was with the famous Ibiza nightclub Amnesia, that together with the Generate DJ project developed the world's largest virtual nightclub within the Metaverse. A few months ago, an event was held with the greatest DJs from all over the world, including Paul van Dyk, Benny Benassi, Luciano, and Fizole Tiago, and many more. You can see this location, and all the users who went to the event were able to participate in a live streaming where all these DJs were playing. Decentral Games has been doing partnerships not only with nightclubs, but also with clothing brands, which more and more want to be part of the Metaverse. One of them was Atari. We also have the famous Bored Ape Yacht Club project. And there's also the Binance Casino, which runs under the Binance Smart Chain network. All the games like blackjack and roulette run on the Binance Smart Chain by Polygon. And more projects want to have their space within the Metaverse. Now, going back to the Decentral Games website, I wanted to show you something that I forgot, which is the upgrading of the wearables. To do this, we're going to click on My Account and then again on Ice Poker. Here we're going to see the amount of ice that we earned today. By simply clicking on Claim Ice, this ice will be sent to our wallet. Keep in mind that they are credited on the Polygon network. We have to look for them there and not in the main Ethereum network. As we accumulate ice and experience, we can use both to upgrade our wearables. Here we have all our wearables and we can click the upgrade button on any of them. What do we gain from this? The reward percentage that we earn daily is going to be affected by having a better wearable. In order to upgrade it, we can see the price to do so. 5,000 ice, 100 DG, and 50 experience. The wearables go from level 1 to 5. And each time the percentage of rewards gets bigger. The secondary market that exists for the top tier wearables is quite high, and by grabbing a tier 1 wearable and taking it up to level 5, we can double the return on what we originally invested in the wearable itself. Normally, the path taken by someone who approaches the Decentral Games platform for the first time is to start as a delegate, and in time becoming able to generate enough rewards to be able to buy their first wearable. And then, the third step is to become a passive income investor. That is, here as you can see, I have several wearables. One of them I'm using to play, but all the others I am delegating to other players. This is generating a passive income for me. So every day I'm getting a percentage of income from other players that are playing for me. The rates that we can get here are amazing, and it's very important to be precise about the numbers, because if a player is able to make $70 per day and we can get 30% of that, which would be $21, and we also invested $1,000 on the NFT during the official NFT sale that is equivalent to 0.25 Ethereum, we're having a return on our investment greater than 250% if we delegate the NFT and greater than 450% if we play ourselves. But we can also get like 10 wearables and delegate all of them and still, as I mentioned, have a rate of 250%. When we delegate a wearable, we can see the performance of the players to whom we delegated the wearable. To do this, we click here in Ice Poker and then we go where it says Delegation Stats. Decentral Games is the only play-to-earn project that has automated the distribution of rewards that are earned daily between the player and the owner of the NFT, and also is the only one that has a dashboard that shows us the performance of the players. Here we can see the different players I have delegated. And we can also see what was the average ice that they earned and the total ice they won during the week. If they were checking in every day or not, that is, if they played a certain day or not, and if they did, if they finished the challenges or not, and also if what positions on average they finished on the leaderboard each day, that is, if they ended up on the top, bottom, or in the middle. In my case, the players I have mostly end up in the middle. It is a very encompassing project, which is really undervalued for all the things that it offers. Considering that all this second crypto wave is coming in the form of NFTs, Metaverse, and play to earn, you really shouldn't miss this opportunity. Because as we've seen the success of Axie Infinity, this is basically the same thing in a financially sustainable way. Because the games are also drawing people into other revenue streams owned by Decentral Games. And we also can't really find rates of this level in the market today. And it's really an entertaining game, unlike other play-to-earns, where we simply participate on the ecosystem for the rewards. Poker is one of the most played games worldwide, and it's really entertaining to enjoy with friends within the Metaverse. I hope to see you there. I hope you liked the video and see you in the next one.